everybody. It's Reality Gaze, and it's a collab. A collab.
We're here.
We really gotta fix that. We really gotta fix that.
We gotta fix
drum.
that drum.
This is, y'all, we're so excited to have this is our kind of first Below Deck collab in a way. But we're so excited to have Dylan and Patrick here from another Below Deck podcast. Hi guys.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
And don't forget Bad TV. That's our other podcast.
And Bad TV, sorry.
And Bad TV.
Don't be so aggressive with the plugging right at the top.
Oh, sorry.
Y'all fight like an old married couple, even though you both identify as straight, which is always a good foursome for us, except for I don't want to picture Maddie in there. So I'm going to consider it a threesome.
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I think Maddie should be there.
You know
no, it won't work if he's there.
I don't think Jake needs to be there, and I can definitely do a DP, so we're fine.
He needs to bring us snacks and drinks after.
Yeah, it's very funny.
We're down.
We're down.
Now that I'm single again, and she's on prep, and she's gonna start slutting it up again. Jake's horrified because he never wanted to hear about my sex life, and now he doesn't know what's gonna happen.
I would rather never picture you sexual. So
well, I'm married, so we don't have sex.
Yeah,
perfect. Well, if you want to remedy that. That's great. Just call me.
I'm married, but younger, so we kind of have sex. Yeah,
we didn't know that. Y'all thought we lived in Texas. I thought y'all lived where straight people live. I don't know, but apparently we all live in Los Angeles,
Colorado, or something. Straight people live in Colorado,
Dubuque,
Montana.
Hey, look, we might be able to make that gangbang happen.
There we go.
I'm gonna need to do some I don't know. I'm very self-conscious, so I don't know. Let's get to know each other a little bit better. I'm not saying
like that
no.
idea.
Just a little bit of flirting.
Let's have coffee.
Do you get first off? Are you happy that you named it Another Below Deck Podcast, or does it bother you now? Because we had some of our listeners saying, "Wait, what's the show?" And we're like, "Another," but what's the show? And we're like
the worst Abbott and Costello.
Yeah. So we started with The Bachelor, and we called it Another Bachelor Podcast because it's a rather, as they would say in the biz, a saturated market.
It's a crowded field, yeah.
So when we started a Below Deck Podcast, we thought that we would have this brilliant business synergy and call it Another Below Deck Podcast. But yeah, that's the name of the show. I think we're the only two people covering it. We're the only two podcasts covering it. So, so there's you guys, and then there's ours, Another Below Deck Podcast.
Does Crappens not do Below Deck? I thought they do.
They do. That Crappens does. And
I think they're back doing it. They stopped doing it for a couple years, I think, because we're friendly with those guys. And I actually when we used to have people in studio, I would text Ben and say, "Hey Ben, Ross, Joe Schmo from Below Deck is in town. Do you want to have him?"
Yeah, you guys have done interviews with people, so we want to talk just before we get into the episode. You guys do Below Deck, also Other Bad TV. You do Love After Lockup.
Yeah, so we have our Below Deck podcast, which is dedicated to the 75 different spinoffs of the show. They're going to drive that thing into the ground if they don't fucking chill. But we also have a show called Bad TV, wherein we cover lots of other different stuff. So Love After Lockup is there, Rock of Love is there. We're dropping
Summer House.
We're going to start Summer House soon. Yeah. And the Below Decks are there as well, so you can find everything there.
We weren't going to do Summer House because it's been so horrible. But then we saw the trailer for the season, and now we don't know what to do. We're conflicted.
We've been talking about it. I need more of a respite because Winter House.
We didn't do it.
Oh, we couldn't do it.
We didn't do it.
I fucking hate every single person.
Yeah. Did you do this last season of Winter House?
Yes, we did Winter House, and I love
glad we
Paige
didn't.
so much, but I'm starting to not like Paige because she's with Greg. We don't call him Craig. We call him Greg. He doesn't deserve to have his first name said correctly. Everyone on the fucking show is just horrible.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I feel like we talked about this a little bit on our last season, that the old guard of Kyle, Lindsay, Carl, they don't feel like they're actually friends with the younger people.
Right,
And that
right.
actually matters if your show is based on not like a real world where you have all these people who are just like living in a house and getting real. But
Right.
these are people who
Supposed
are
to be about
established
friends.
friends.
Right.
And it doesn't work.
Well, think about Vanderpump Rules the first couple seasons. Those people actually worked at SUR, and they were all banging each other. And so the chemistry is off the charts, and those are the best seasons of that show. Then they start making money. Now they're on TV, and then it completely changes the dynamic. That's what I think is kind of taking place with Summer House and Winter House is now these cast members, it's like, they're not letting loose. I mean, Greg gets drunk at 3 a.m. and punches at invisible pinatas, but
well, both invisible and very visible and real pinatas. But to Bravo, don't bring Corey back on this show.
Never.
Don't bring Corey back.
He gives everybody the ick.
I get the ick.
I watched one episode just to see. Corey is this kind of, I would consider Corey like a melted Abercrombie and Fitch model.
Yeah. 100%.
Maddie, you'll want to fuck him when you see him, but then when he talks,
unfortunately, you're gonna want to fuck him.
Yeah. No, I don't think I can. That perm, that's no.
The perm is weird, and there is this kind of illusory trick that happens where from afar it's fine, and then it begins to look more melted. And I don't want to shit on people.
Yeah, it's a Monet.
He's one of those. I don't like the educated bros, the bros that they're made of muck. They exist in muck. They're just trying to get pussy at all hours, but they're all of a sudden entrepreneurs and businessmen as well. It's like, please,
like Luke selling maple syrup. Now, what do you think? Now, Jake, before you say anything, because Jake what do y'all think about Luke?
Fine. I'm a straight man. I would, who knows what would happen if me and Luke were on a 3-day vacation together. I find him to be just a stunning human being, but he's also fucking weird, and he needs to chill out on the weirdness. He weirds people out.
Let me tell you about Luke.
Hold on. I want to, before you go, I want to hear what Pat wants to say.
Sorry.
Well, I get his arc on this on Winter House. I kind of felt bad for the dude because he was basically made to look like a really creepy bastard. My wife then, because we watched the show together, she's like, I used to think he was hot too, and he's a creepy bastard, and she's been turned off of it. So maybe my
and now I'll let Jake tell his thoughts.
Here is the issue. I was never attracted to him. I thought he was strange. I thought everything about him
relentlessly on our show.
Dogged him.
You called him. I think you said that. I think you once said something like a fossil is smarter than him. Or I think
I did say a troglodyte was smarter.
Yeah, you did.
Than he was.
And then what happened, Poodle?
Then I met him backstage at the Crappies and talked with him for like 20 minutes, and he looked at me and he saw into my soul.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, I will say that he is slightly over familiar because he's so Midwestern. That's where on television that translates to creepy. And so a lot of that is getting that through the edit. He is overly familiar with girls, which will get you the creepy edit for sure.
For sure.
But he also has been told he is the best guy ever, and he's like everyone's like hometown king. And he is arrestingly attractive in person, though.
But what did you tell Luke, Poodle? What did
I told him that if he came to LA, I would help him with his career, even though I have no ways to help him.
You can't offer empty gestures like that because you don't know they're gonna come. The number is gonna get called, and you're gonna be like, "Oh fuck!"
That's what he wants. He said, I'm a voice teacher. If you ever need voice teaching,
I'd put him in Leslie Kahn's class, and she would completely destroy him.
Yeah.
And then we'd be maybe he would do like a Shakespeare play in North Hollywood. I don't know.
Oh, he just folded, y'all.
Yeah, right by the Shakey's Pizza on Laurel. But there's this thing with he has just icy Aryan eyes, but he these kinds of people, reality bends differently for people that look like that, and it usually manifests in character deficiencies. But you shouldn't encourage his music because it's a sin to encourage that art. So you have to stop.
We've sung quite a few parody songs of his.
How do you feel about? I didn't think we were going to talk about Summer House so much, but I'm intrigued. What are your thoughts on the relationship that is Carl and Lindsay.
Ugh. I don't. This is a very controversial thing. I don't want to. People who are going through recovery, praying for you. Do you get better? Don't talk to me about your recovery. It's very annoying to me. The two of them together, it's just this kind of incestuous let's get better thing that they have, and I think it's going to end in a
I can see that.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's going to end in hellfire.
They're a TV couple that are destined to probably make a TV baby. There's some people that I believe, like Paige and Craig, where they are staying together for the benefit of it's helping them book TV gigs.
100%. 100%.
Those are my least favorite. Like, you can't come up to Winter House where they're going to film you for 2 weeks and be a couple because it's so boring. I like the idea of single people going there and mixing it up. This last Winter House, we had fun recapping it, but in reality, there was zero storylines. Like, take Carl and Lindsay, right?
Yeah.
They come up, and the whole storyline was going to be that she touched Austin's dick.
Yeah.
Right.
And he came on like a McDonald's cheeseburger wrapper or something. And in reality,
I'd watch that.
They basically go to Carl, like, how do you feel about this? And he's like, yeah, we talked about it. It's cool. And it's like, if Carl's cool with it and Austin's cool with it, then why does America care?
Why does anyone in the house, probably Amanda, who has like the opinion about everything?
Lindsay tucked my dick, and my big fat tongue went, it was really excited.
Like this.
And I ruined my cheeseburger, but it was so fun.
I hate him, so I cannot.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
If you think about a real couple, who I consider the realest couple is Kyle and Amanda, because they both actively hate one another.
They do.
Yeah,
it's real.
100%.
It's real. Their marriage is real.
That's what true love looks like.
Now, here's another thing. So you have Sierra come up on Winter House this past season. One of the hottest girls ever, right? And you have this house, and there's no one there for her to have a love interest to. She's already banged Corey, I think, in the past and was over it, got the ick.
She banged Luke.
I'm sorry, Luke. And then now they basically, I know did you guys actually watch the show? I don't blame you if you did.
No, I watched
House,
one
not
episode.
Season 2. We did the first season.
We watched last season,
Yeah, Sierra was kind of floundering and still like with Austin, and it makes you think,
good Lord.
What kind of disease do you like? I don't understand why you are into this person. But yeah, it was just, it's 8 episodes. They come up with some stupid house game to play at like the 24-minute mark because they have to do something. So they get around and play like a Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, they
game.
send a PA down to the 99-cent store to grab some costumes.
Those fucking props. Amazon just needs to stop delivering those houses.
I think so too. I think so too.
Anyway, we're still on the fence whether we're covering it. We have to watch the trailer again so we can make a decision.
Summer
it's
House
happening
is better
soon.
than Winter House, but we need to move on. But they bulk order sushi that gets delivered to the house, and that's just a recipe for disaster. I just don't understand how that could happen. If there's 2-3 menu offerings, that's fine. But when there's all these different roles and there's like 8 people, it just gives me a fucking headache. I don't know.
This is such an LA problem, and I love it that you have a problem with it too, because I find bulk ordering of sushi to be like with a party of like 20 or something like that to be really problematic as well.
No, I only do those boxes from Sugarfish if I want to.
Do a box. I agree with you.
I'm with you, Maddie.
That's your box. It's
your box,
right? Anyways, we have more important stuff to talk
We have more important shit. Let's move on. Let's talk about BD or DP or DPing BD.
DP Mediterranean.
DP Med, or we call it Below Dick. Where let's just talk about this season in general. This last episode called Frazzled. Basically we've had Camille got the axe, who was kind of the reason that the kind of trash on display we were watching, having fun with. We've been living for Rachel, of course, this season. And what do you guys think? And it was pleasantly surprising because Lee seemed to have been losing a little bit of his, even last season, Lee was losing a little bit of energy.
No, No, it's not facilities, Patrick.
Oh,
It's faculties.
It's faculties.
Jesus Christ.
You know what,
It's
Patrick? You're
faculties.
pretty, so it's fine.
Pat, welcome to my life where we're just corrected and shamed.
I guarantee
you're
you,
just trying
Dylan,
to figure it out.
Dylan, but both of you probably correct each other a lot. But I think
Fairly one-sided, and I need to work on it. It's not important.
No, Dylan,
It's a Libra thing. The Libra man, Pat.
Really bad. Like he'll say things, and I'll just rapid fire.
I
have to.
If we don't correct it, then the audience just thinks that's wrong, and then we can't have a laugh about it. You know?
Thank you.
But the audience doesn't care. That's what you forget.
Yes, they do. You're incorrect.
Maybe
So-
I'm just a Pisces who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, your education failed you. But Captain Sandy coming in completely changes the dynamic for me.
Yeah.
Everyone who's listening to us and listen to our Below Deck podcast know that I'm both not a fan, and I live for every time she's on the screen because I get to imitate her and make fun of her.
Right.
But what do you guys think about just this season, how it ranks to other seasons? We thought last season was a complete snooze of beating original Below Deck.
To be honest,
we do 5 different. Yeah. There's 5 versions of this show right now, which is too much. They're going to tank this show.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have to tell you this: after a season's done, I don't remember a soul.
That's what we do with 90 Day Fiance. Same.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, you guys probably go through this with every rendition, but
yeah,
I haven't the faintest fucking idea what happened last season of Blood. I mean, I'll go through into the storage unit here and try to pull something out.
Nah, don't worry about it.
We don't do Below Deck Adventure. Y'all are doing that too.
No one should do Below Deck Adventure. But here is the problem with Below Deck Adventure. The people go on this kind of yacht vacation for the adventure, which is not going to provide anyone any real drama. It's rappelling, it's bike riding, it's jumping off of high shit and swimming in water. You would think that, so because of that, the quality of the yacht experience is essentially a glorified houseboat. I mean, it's genuinely disgusting. You would think that there would be a little bit more to chew on, but we call it the B squad. The sea rats that work on these vessels are so incompetent that it's not even funny. It's just exhausting after a certain point. So no one watched Below Deck Adventure. It's terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was fun. The chef lost her mind. I think in 3 separate pieces of food, including a cheeseburger. Somehow she got her hair entangled in a cheeseburger.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I do know of just. I was trying to. We were going to do a crossover episode of it, and the Chiefs, Faye, who talks like this, just really, yeah, he does very much like it, and her voice kind of started grating on me. But the scariest guy was the Southern guy who was basically
Kyle.
could have been in the White Power Club.
So do you
ruins lives.
Know the story of that little white lie that?
No.
Okay. All right.
So Kyle got fired the second episode.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So
I watched this.
Kyle is, hurt people.
Yeah, definitely.
Kyle is a hurt person because his mom is something from, I don't know, like, I don't want to get too heady. She's like, if there was an evil woman in a Cormac McCarthy book, that's she literally slit a horse's throat from a neighbor that she was having a dispute with. She shot a horse in the head. She went on Dr. Phil, said that none of it's true, but she wound up in prison, so it likely is true. So there's a lot of crazy fucking shit going on there.
They should have left Kyle on the boat, I think is the point, because it would have been a lot more drama. They fired him too early, and then the boat's boring, and of course you have people jumping off cliffs, and who wants to see that? That's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring.
I remember them saying he's very Carrie's like he's very I'd really hate to lose him, or Lewis like I really hate to lose him because he's a good sailor. I'm like, and he's also slightly crazy.
Yeah, I know. We were thinking the same thing. But with this season, Sandy is a welcome sight because
Yes.
we, and I hate to alienate people, but we got to do us. We cannot stand Captain Lee. He talks.
makes sense.
Really?
Yeah, no, he talks about imaginary plane tickets. He yells at people. He talks about eating ass too much. And the problem I have with it is
That's good for us. But
it's good for you guys, but you guys walk the walk. He is just fucking. He's trafficking in fraudulent, claims of ass eating, and he's doing it all.
It's a generational thing because I remember, I forgot about it, but where I'm from in Oklahoma, my father all the time. I forgot because I moved back for a year, and it all the time. Matthew, by God, I'm gonna eat his ass out, and I would always go. Now, but he would be. I couldn't say anything to him because he was so pissed. So there is a generational thing of eating ass.
I'm gonna get at that ass.
Here's the other generational thing, and I've bitched about this because people are like, "How can you hate on Lee? He's the fan favorite or whatever." I'm like, "Well, I hate his fucking management style because he continues to do it and not change it or evolve it, and he's like had the most fired the most employees. So obviously his leadership role sucks, and I think fame kind of got to his head, and he became kind of like." Almost like a characterization of himself, but he only has like two characters. He eats ass and he hands out plane tickets.
Well, and he also
That's true.
He really got high on his own supply with these long-winded aphorisms that he comes up with that make no fucking sense at all. And
I'll nail your pin down to a 3-peckered billy goat with a hammer. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, little man?
In an insane asylum right now? What are you talking about, Lee?
He's got to be so pissed because that he's not going to be on the show anymore, and Captain Carey's coming on to take over.
Yeah, that's correct. Carey has been announced. I don't know if you know this about Matty. Carey has been announced as season 11.
So this is brand new news. I haven't seen that.
Yes, it's breaking news like 3 or 4 days ago.
Captain Carey's on Below Deck Adventure, right? I don't know anything much about him as a
He's
captain.
Australian. He's a bald-headed captain.
Get this. He drinks, and I think he's got the eye for some of the ladies.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
This could be fun. He doesn't have a stick up his ass like Lee. Like, this guy will fucking party. So I am really excited about him.
I wonder if Sandy was pissed because I feel like Sandy was vying. She thought this is my shot.
She wants to get as much as she can. She wants to be the top of this. What do you guys think about Sandy and her style?
So,
Sandy.
Sandy.
We can all learn from this. Oh, hold on. Let me turn to the page that I liked from Tony Robbins' book. Hold on.
Yeah, so Sandy watches a lot of like productivity YouTube. She she goes to a lot of leadership conferences. Pat deemed her many seasons ago Captain Timeshare because
what are you cooking?
The captains are supposed to be up in whatever fucking room it's called. I don't know if it's a fucking crow's nest, whatever. It's got a lot of computers.
The bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's the bridge. It's like we've been covering the show for 6 years.
No, same. Get it.
Go up there, play Fruit Ninja like Lee, and when it's time to dock, you can scream at everybody. But Sandy has a more hands-on approach.
Are you making nachos? Are you making nachos for the guests?
This season, she's gone from Captain Timeshare to Captain Most Improved. And then recently, she's gone back to Captain Snap, which is this really like overexcited, like snap, like she's back into everybody's shit. And now I fear as though she is addicted to the lenses once again, and she has devolved back into Captain Timeshare. Sandy needs to go back to Med. We need a break from Sandy. It's too much Sandy, right? It's just too much.
I agree.
Sandy.
I'm lucky that I feel like she's a gift for me because I just go off about. Usually, I talk about her watching television and watching and like finger banging to Law and Order and Mishka Hargitay.
Yeah.
She loves Kate and Allie. God, that turns her on.
Any type of like lady television. Because when she's woken up, she always kind of wakes up. When she wakes up, crossing Jordan. When she wakes up, she just kind of she's always like braless, kind of like she's a little flushed.
Yeah. Her alarm on her phone is the theme from It's a Living.
But she does.
Wow, deep cut, man.
She does have these moments where you love Captain Sandy.
You do.
when that little bitch across the way called her and said that she needs to move the boat, I mean, it was like a 12-round bout with that guy, and she absolutely decimated him. So
Oh,
there's
it was great.
pros and cons to Sandy.
She's
but
a good.
Quite rude if you don't move the boat tonight. You might kill some of the passengers.
Why don't you shut up? Go back to your guests. I'm gonna go
Well,
back.
That's what we've said. Actually, the most Jake has said. Actually, what she's saying as a captain is pretty good advice. But what we've noticed, and maybe y'all don't know this because you're straight, you don't know the culture.
Yeah.
The big, I think that really is, and I think you're right, which has set her back to kind of the old Captain Sandy is a gay man corrected her, and you do not.
Yeah.
As a gay man, you do not correct a lesbian who has authority over you. Because
Okay.
that
Whoa,
fucking
okay.
sets
Okay.
them off.
We talked about this last episode, and I said aloud, I don't know enough about the culture, but is there a war between twinks and lesbians?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are mortal enemies.
Why is there so much animosity?
Well, because they're not really of the same species.
Okay.
It has a thing where, especially younger gay men, because a lot of younger gay men like Fraser have no use for lesbians, especially older lesbians.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
And so, and Sandy kind of knows that, and she's a little. But it was the point of what really gets her is Sandy's always got a chip on her shoulder, rightly so, of being a female captain. No one's going to take me seriously.
Right.
So when Fraser starts kind of just a little bit of talking back to her,
Yeah.
that's enough to say, I'm going to push you further. And that's the thing. Every confrontation she has with him is
Yeah.
a chance to make him roll over.
Right.
And he doesn't really do it. She's like, you're going to submit to me, and I'm going to strap it on, and I'm going to fuck you all night if I want to.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
Interesting.
and because he's in this queer community, a part of her thinks you should know better. You know, there's this idea of I'm sure she would say Frasier, and she would of course say it wrong. Frasier.
I don't
know how difficult it is. What I've had to go.
Sure.
Like the fact that even though she has no empathy for other people, she's upset that he didn't have the empathy for her and said that to her.
There was a scene in the galley, which it just passed really quickly, but you could tell she was very annoyed with Fraser. I think he told one of his, stews to do something, and she basically corrected him.
Yeah.
And said, you don't do that, I do that. And it was like the first time you heard her kind of talk out, and that now this all makes sense. There's this dynamic going on.
Yeah.
This dynamic. I mean, but Fraser admittedly has been not a great chief stew.
Well, so we love Frage. Frage is not doing a great job, but
yeah,
it's like a general being handed Normandy.
We love him too. We love him too, by the way.
It's just like, well, how the fuck do you want me to do this? I mean, I've got two women at each other's fucking throats.
Yeah,
I got these both trying to bang everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. Camille and Alyssa. Yeah.
Alyssa.
Yeah. And on a huge boat. On a huge fucking boat.
Huge boat.
And you got Captain Sandy looking over your shoulder every time.
Right. So he's got an uphill battle.
Do we know if Captain Lee actually retired or if Bravo decided it was his time?
I don't think we know. I think there are
loves
people
being on the show
who follow. People follow gossip more than us, but I think they might have opinions. But I think we're still not sure if he's going to come back to be captain or he's going to come back to visit. We're not sure about that.
I think he's coming back to visit. Maybe he'll feel good enough to do like the very last day and bring the boat in, some symbolic thing.
They're gonna let Pappy with Sandy's hand on the thing.
She would love it. She would love it just to sit there. Let me get that. Oh, yeah.
I gotta do I have to be more like James Cameron, like broad appeal for the sake of our business. But to these people who are crying or getting teary-eyed or missing Lee or saying he's the reason that this show is what it is, will you please fucking take a breath, take a walk, and just calm the fuck? I mean,
it's a television show.
It's Jesus Christ, these people.
Yeah, people do get really, really upset about Captain Lee. Yeah.
I think where Captain Lee does kind of maybe get some points for himself, is at least from what we've heard. Maybe y'all are way more tuned into the gossip. We are not, honestly. But he apparently is a pretty reputable, kind person to people in the Bravo verse and helps them out. We've talked about Carl and his relationship and apparently other people. Whereas Captain Sandy has gone on the record for saying, quote, at BravoCon, I don't want to be around normal people.
That was a big thing.
Right.
Man, if we had her on tape, saying
she's
that.
in it for the fame.
Now, here's the thing. We want that. I don't want the nice guy. We're trying. What we're trying to do, but yes, no. Everyone, we love Kate Chastain so much, and she's an incredible judge of character, and she constantly tells us that she loves Captain Lee. So there's no doubt that he's a good guy.
Did you guys have her on the show ever?
Many times.
We've had her. We've talked.
I'm like the biggest. I'm the biggest fucking super fan, and I've watched. And she was so good on the Traitors. Because she was just her. Okay, I won't talk about Kate Chastain, but I still
is he so verklempt right now?
I get
he won't get off her dick. He will not get off Kate Chastain's
just
dick.
Because I've watched her. Just when you watch, Kate Chastain is the standard of what a chief stew should be.
100%.
And even though you can see her. The best thing about Kate Chastain, which a lot of chief stews don't understand, is you can have a professional reaction without going overwhelmingly nice.
Yes.
And you don't, and also you can have, as soon as you walk away from the guests, you can say, oh my God, I hate their fucking guts. That's fine. Right. As long as you can put on a convincing face like, yeah, we have a really great meal for you, blah, blah, blah. You're going to do that. And you walk away and you go, oh my God, did you see that fucking bitch's face? You can do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other chief stews don't realize you don't have to be Polly Prissy Pants all the time.
Yeah.
You can.
She's a tough bitch. And when we were doing the early seasons, when we first had Kate on, Pat had referred to her as a cold-hearted bitch numerous times.
So,
something like that.
So she walks into the interview room and said, which one of you idiots called me a bitch?
And that was it. And it was kind of love after that. We smoked cigs together and I said, it's him. And she went up to him and, gave him the business. Then we podcasted. So we love it very much.
What you see is what you get. And there's not a better compliment I can give to someone, especially in reality TV. I miss her desperately. If you are having Kate Chastain withdrawal, I highly recommend The Traitors on Peacock.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode only because we watch 90 shows a week to do podcasts. That one's definitely in my queue, but I haven't gotten to it yet, but I will.
Same. She gets even better. She is killing it. At one point, Rachel Riley from Big Brother, she's like, oh, I fucking hate Rachel. I want her gone just because I hate her. And then she said she dresses like she gets dressed in a community theater every morning. She's so good.
He goes to Pat because he's been needing to finish Severance for a year now. And
it's so good.
Pat, I think we're the same person.
because
and I don't know how Jake watched. Like he'll be like he's upset. I haven't seen White Lotus season 2 yet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, when have we had time? We've been watching so much shit.
I'm saying this. You need to see White Lotus season 2 for cultural relevance. You are just sorry.
You're flying blind if you haven't seen White Lotus season 2.
Thank you.
One was so not good. I was like, whatever.
Season two is better, and I disagree that 1 wasn't good.
Whatever. He shits in a suitcase, and then him and his boyfriend kill each other.
By the way,
I just combined shows.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. By the way, Dylan pointed this out to me. I had no idea. So that amazing episode of The Last of Us, episode 3,
Tilu.
That is the hotel.
Yes, Murray Bartlett.
I had no clue. Now that's a fucking actor right there.
Yeah, he's.
Oh yeah,
he can do anything. Actor.
And Nick Offerman, who can also do anything.
So did y'all, Jake and I, we were on it now, but we were a little blinded, we have to say. Maybe it was the editing. We didn't necessarily love Alyssa, but we did not realize Alyssa was kind of at the core of all this dysfunction. Did y'all know from the get-go, or were you blinded by the shiny thing that was Camille?
I knew from the get-go, and fans have written in that it is my bigotry, but it really has nothing to do with that. It's that she is a goddamn demon, and
She's a monster.
She's young, so she'll
Right.
hopefully grow up. But Camille is aloof and lazy, and will give it back to you. Alyssa has a Napoleonic, scary thing going on.
This past episode, she called 3 of the female employees on that boat a smelly bitch or something to that effect.
Yeah,
Like,
that was really terrible.
including Haley, who is so sweet.
Wonderful. Yeah. It's interesting. The people who were defending Alyssa at the beginning, who were saying the problem is the people who were saying that it can only be one person who's the problem. It's either Camille's the problem or Alyssa's the problem. And I said, no, y'all, both of them are a big part of the problem here.
Yeah.
Each of them are the one that the other cannot handle. And I think Alyssa might have flown under the radar further had Camille not shown up to give her kryptonite. But
Yeah,
Alyssa,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say Alyssa she has way too much baggage from childhood when she's like, she reminds, when you hear the phrase, she really reminds me of my dad.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. We had Alyssa on, and she played
Shut
nice.
up.
Oh yeah, and
she played.
Of course, there's the PR person from Bravo off to the side, so you can't get too into it with her. But she basically put on nice, and
there's also this thing that there's just this kind of like dormant evil that can come up, like not adhering to girl code is a weird thing. Not there's a good majority of women who would not do to Katie what Alyssa is doing to Katie. We can all say that Ross is a sex addict. He sees Katie as a whole and nothing more. But there is this kind of, for whatever it's worth, they're doing a thing. Alyssa does not give a fuck about it, clearly. But Fraser isn't doing a great job with it either. But
well, Dylan, what do you always say that this show and the fun of it is watching it?
Well, it's subjecting the wealthy to incompetence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That should be the subtitle for the series.
That is the subtitle for the series. That is the subtitle for the series.
That's really good.
I lost my train of thought.
It's a fun season. I will say with Below Deck, we're kind of getting burnt out on. I feel for you guys. I know you guys do a lot of 90-day, like just all the different versions. It never ends now, which it turns out that's what life after lockup is becoming. It's like it never ends. Like life after lockup, guys, you're not General fucking Hospital, okay? Michael is not. What is his name? Luke. Who's the main guy?
Luke and Laura.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Justine and Michael are not Luke and Laura.
Everyone over 50.
I'm so sorry. I've got to get a call. I'm so sorry. Hey, is this? Hey, Pinky.
Hey,
what's going on?
I'm Hottie's girl.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pinky. Let me get this.
Can I just
the joke
say,
never gets old ever.
He did that on Mary Payne's show, and she's like, "Oh, take your call."
And it was actually Aaron on Pink Shade.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Aaron
take your
thought
call.
it was a real call.
And I was just like, but every time she did it, Ty was one of the most entertaining people on television. I still will walk around my house just going, I'm Hottie's girl, and going, ooh.
I will say though, so here's a difference.
This is Love After Lockup we're talking about.
Love, which
we segued.
Is the same producer of 90 Day Fiance, Matt Sharp.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
it's the same production.
The Matt
company.
Sharp joint.
Matt Sharp, and the thing with Matt Sharp that it's very different. Like, I'm a little jealous, but also a little grateful that like we don't get any of these people on these shows because Sharp Productions and TLC they won't let any of them on shows.
Right.
So it's like they don't want them to become reality. We only got Darcy and Stacey because Darcy and Stacey were like, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do, and we love you guys.
They need to keep this Stockholm syndrome thing that they have going, and they need to make sure that they're confined. But Matt Sharp seems to be like, like truffle hunting dogs. They he can find damaged people that are like,
he really can.
Hundreds of feet under the ground. I mean, it's truly
hundreds. But the thing is, though, like it's very interesting how they don't want these people to become reality stars. Yet, I'm with you. Some of these spinoffs are fine and great, like Love in Paradise, The
Oh,
Single Life, 90 Day, or actually some of the best iterations of the show. But
Sure.
it's also
there
like
and there are
then,
shorter seasons too. We
but if
think
these
that's the
people
thing, 10 to 13 episodes.
aren't
Yeah.
like, it just feels a little bit like it feels a little too much. Now they're doing another 90-day version of, we don't exactly know what it is, but they're all like on an island somewhere.
They're
We're
in
thinking maybe
Florida.
where the rumors it's going to be like couples therapy. We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been covering the same shows as us for a long time. So here's the best version of Love After Lockup is when original people come on. I know that wasn't necessarily the case with this past season because we had, was it Gabby and God, I forget their names so quick.
Chris.
Yeah,
Chris,
Gabby and Chris.
and Justine and Michael, of course, because that was before lockup or whatever. But most of the time when they cover these people for 2 or 3 weeks, they film them. That is the best version because you get the most
best
version. Same with 90 Day, the version that you guys are watching now, the other way.
One
It's
season and done.
So
fantastic.
good.
When
Yeah.
they start making these people play out acting like scenes, it's like I can't
They're
watch it.
making them reality stars, but they don't want them to be reality stars. And these people, often a lot of these people, there's very few, but again, maybe the truffle dogs can find real people, but they don't find good reality stars.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, do you think Nathan of Nathan and Skylar fame would do like a Radio Row very well? Like,
I don't think he'd wake up.
I don't think
he
that they're
terrifies
allowed-
me.
Oh yeah, he's. I listen. Skylar has had some problems in the past.
Well, 2 of her ex-boyfriends are dead.
Yeah, good.
Nice understatement of the year.
Said. She's
Wow.
had
Black
problems.
Widow.
Yeah, exactly. But Nathan is bad for her. Get
Yeah.
away from her.
Powder
Go
keg.
treat trims and go, be successful in life. But yeah, no, it's a tough show.
The other thing about this season is we've had a really good time with Ashley and Travis.
My favorite couple. Yeah.
Who Michelle from Blind Day Fiance called Ashley, we called her Kathy from the comic strip. Who said ack?
Just because our hair is just its own creature.
Sure.
It's like 4 wigs in one, her hair.
Right.
Jake said she's on prescription drugs or something, right? She has
Oh,
to.
hell
has
yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yep.
And she's a drunk.
Yep.
Yeah, she's
So that is real to me. What they're filming there, sure, they say, hey, we're going to, they have to set up the cameras to film at his mother's house and all that. But are they destitute? Are they living in a car or a motels from paycheck to paycheck? Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's this weird thing because I feel the same way about Skylar as I do for Travis. Travis, he's had a problematic past. He's been a treasure hunter. He's been a crack addict. He's been a bank robber, and he's been a highway robber.
Yeah.
But I really feel as though he could get his shit back on track, but he's with this woman who has these brain chemical dumps at all these random times, and they're just... Also, he has a mom that wants to fuck him. So I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're praying for everyone on the show.
Come, you need to sit next to mommy. Gonna be right here with mommy. Can I put my hand on your leg?
You ain't never gonna break this bond, Ashley. Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong?
I still say there are very few moments that will stand out of this season than the mom taking the ring off her finger and putting it on hers.
Yep. That was crazy.
Yep.
Looks good. Looks so good on me.
How about this? I decided if I like you and I'll give it back.
Yeah. Now, do you guys like Justine and Michael? Because we absolutely
can't stand
loathe Justine and Michael.
I liked them before. We liked them a lot in the last season, and we think a lot of our term is fraudacity. Our term is we think a lot of it's made up this season.
All cooked.
We don't think they're having problems. I mean, we do like them. We did not like her first season at all. We were like, she seems spoiled.
And she didn't know how much a car costs,
But I do still like, and yes, we do think Michael's hot. We do think he's a talented rapper. The thing though, but what the fraudacity part is no one knows how they're paying for anything. and we're just assuming it's like he's like Scrooge McDuck swimming in his vat of drug money somewhere in like fucking suburban Ohio that none of us fucking know about.
Yeah.
And I hate this word because it's a generalization, and but it's the perfect word for this. That's problematic to me.
Yeah, everything. When all your checks come from the Cayman Islands, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think actually it might be the explanation might be a little simpler. I think Justine's pretty savvy, and I think they cut a deal with and they knew that they were going to be on new versions of this show, and her quitting her job despite them having 8 children was because they think it's going to be a big payday from
Yeah, apparently we
Spoiler
only know
alert, it won't be.
We only know this a little bit from what Michael said, just that he's like, Jujubee, that's what he calls her, really handles a lot of the social media. So we inferred that this is her making.
Yes. 100%.
She's making this empire for them.
Empire. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, his sneaker empire, the next Kanye, he is not. You can go to any building, like there's a bunch of sneaker companies where you can design your own shoes and then pay $40 for them and then sell them to idiots for $900.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
people
so
do it
that's
here all
how
the
it's
time.
done. I didn't know. I was like, do they have factories in some? I had no idea.
It's all outsourced. Yeah.
I mean, did we see that studio that he showed up to rectify his hip hop career? It looked like a set from The Last of Us.
Listen, you guys mentioned it. Mills has bars, but Mills bars can't be the only thing that's going to take care of 8 children.
It's insane.
It's a little. Like, the stupidity of these decisions I'm confused and angry, and it happens a lot. I just bored people. Just take birth control. Just stop having so many fucking kids.
Did you see this last episode? I know it was last night. I'm not sure.
Yeah. We saw it.
Okay. So they meet with Justine's mother, and you think that she'd be so happy to hear the news, and she's fucking pissed.
No,
and then
she talks like this. She's over the whole thing.
Yeah.
She asked Michael, how are you going to pay for all these kids? And his answer was,
it's in God's hands.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I think it's in the hands of a Swiss bank account.
That's what
I don't think he would be so easy with money if there wasn't something he could if there wasn't something.
I think what's happening to y'all, why you're not necessarily loving them as much too, is they're breaking the Lalu formula, where this show, the reason why people are so great on this show is because either they are completely oblivious that they're on a reality show, or they're like Ty from Ty and Hottie. They can't, as my grandma would say, they can't help but show their ass. And so it makes them like, she can't help but just tear up her own house when she's upset. Like she can't help like say this stupid shit. But you can tell with Michael and Justine Jujubee, you can tell they get it. They get the thing. They get the formula, and they're trying to fit into that. And that is not love after love. We want, as we called her, we want black and white Cookie with black and white hair loving Dalton and like Dalton and buying her trailer house. Like, and then we meet Dalton's mom and Dalton, who's a robot who talks like this. Like, that's what we need. Like, that's what the show is.
Those were the salad days of this show.
100%.
And like,
how about Scott? God rest his soul. I loved when I forget who Scott's girlfriend was.
Scott. Wait, is Scott dead?
Scott's dead.
Scott's dead.
Scott from an earlier season.
From season 1 of Love After Lockup.
Yes.
Oh, we haven't seen.
We never went that far back.
We joined in episode. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Poodle.
We joined in season 3, I think.
We started season 3, and we just did a collab this week with DocuSweeties, and Wahima had started with Love After Lockup like at the beginning, and she's like, "You don't know Love After Lockup. Have y'all started from the first season?
First season, loved
I think that was it. Scott and Lizzie was
Scott
that
and
couple.
Lizzie.
Yeah.
Yep. Where she spent $800 at a convenience store on candy bars.
Just a quick question. What is that massive glass of red liquid you're drinking out of?
This This is actually Pedialyte.
Jake has to bottom later, so he's just storing his nerves.
No,
Oh,
this is. I'm getting over from my stomach bug, and so
I
I'm.
got it. Okay,
what
dehydrated.
happened.
It does look like I'm going. It's like, hi, C, Mom. Where's the fruit punch? Purple stuff.
I was like, that is a lot of fruit punch. What is he drinking?
Well, that's what happens
I'm-
when you invite the whole football team over instead of just the defensive line.
It was a
Right.
good night.
Yeah, it falls out.
can we talk a little 90 Day? You guys have been doing 90 Day
Yes.
for like 5 years.
Something like that. About like 4 years. Yeah.
4 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as we all agreed on, like the best version of 90 Day is the first couples meeting each other. The first time you meet them, it's not Barbara and Michael. If I see Barbara, is it not Barbara? I'm sorry. Who's the large woman who got all the cosmetics?
Angela.
Angela and Michael.
You and the goofballs, Michael. Like
Yeah.
you don't have a storyline anymore.
No,
No,
they don't.
On this
no.
show.
It's completely a cult of personality for them. Most people really don't want Angela on the show, but I think there is a level of cringe that some viewers have that crave her. I think other thing is she is always willing to film. Her producers are kind of seasoned and they know how to make, and she's always going to make
They want
news.
memeable
Memes.
social media content. That's why, think about this. At least I don't know if it's true anymore, but at one time, the most popular 90 Day Fiancé star on Cameo was Big Ed.
Can you
100%.
imagine?
And it's
And he
because
loved it, by the way. No one's loved their notoriety more than Big Ed.
That piece
Oh.
of shit. Boy.
he sent us fucking stickers whenever, or wanted to send us stickers whenever the shows, when he was going to be on the first season.
One of I will say
Wow.
really not just disgusting human being, but probably one of the thirstiest people on the planet.
100%.
What's going on? Because we watched it for a little bit and then we bowed out. I found it to be a riveting television program, but there's so many hours in the day.
Yeah,
get
it's
that.
so long. Yeah,
What's going on with Jenny and Samit?
they're great. They got married.
Oh, they finally did? Oh, I
It's
can't wait
real.
for their kids.
Finally married, and your dad thinks
We just do her as a chicken.
Mother
still hates
me so bad.
Now
Yeah, the waddle is there. I mean,
the
it
waddle
there.
is there. It is.
It is.
waddle's there.
Like
She's kind of a chicken turkey hybrid.
Yeah.
Right.
Once
And
you
woman.
once you say Chicken Jenny, it's always
works.
going to fit. It works.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
works.
but they're married, and I mean, but the mother
is threatening to die every time.
Yes, like
Yeah.
physically ill because they are married.
For the last 6 years, these people have eked out 6 seasons of this show with the same storyline.
Yeah.
Oh, will his mother and father finally condone them getting married? Oh my God.
Oh, we're still on. That's the problem with we just
It's
finished
amazing.
Happily
I'm
Ever
still
After.
compelled.
That's the problem with Happily Ever
I
After.
don't
Is
believe
because it's
Happily Ever After is drudgery.
There's like Libby and Andre. We thought Libby was going to become like try to be a YouTube singer of children's songs, singing "Mary Had a Little Lamb."
No,
But then she got pregnant, and
that was
got
abandoned.
put to the way. So then it's just her and her family fighting with Andre again. Like it's just all the complete. If the next time they do Happily Ever After, they need to just wipe the cast and have all people we haven't seen in a couple of years of Happily Ever After.
How about that Amish girl that came like season 2 or not Amish? He was Amish and she was in South America. She comes out here and she looks like a model. And then we never followed that storyline again. Like I'd be fascinated what they're up to.
Oh, I know who are you talking about? Amish.
Amish. Who was Amish?
I thought he was Amish because the way he met her is he was on a mission in South America.
That was Alan and Kiriam.
Yes. Yeah.
That was
Nice.
season 1.
That was season 1, and let me tell you about that. That has a dark side, Pat.
What?
Because he met her on a mission in South America and told she was a little younger and told his parents to save her for him.
So yeah, they met apparently when she was like 15.
Really?
So yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
lot darker than it seems.
Yeah, it's like
But
some-
now they have 2 children and they're happy. Yay!
They're fine. Yay.
All right.
That's really
Can we talk
beautiful.
about actually? So Big Ed was thirsty. How about I forget? He was a rapper that, and he had gone to Serbia. I think his band was called Serbia. or something.
Oh,
Oh,
Jabri and
Jabri.
Miona. Black Serbs.
We call them gibberish.
Gibberish.
They were thirsty.
They were thirsty, and they were thirsty to a degree that even the show couldn't sustain.
Yeah,
it was interesting. Like they flew too close to the sun on wings of Instagram filters. It was to the point of the audience hated them, objectively hated them.
Yeah.
Really?
They
Wow.
won't
Yeah.
be back. I don't think they'll be back.
They'll
for a
never be
while.
back because they went. She was accused of blackfishing as well because she was a Serbian girl and basically going further than Kim Kardashian ever dared.
Oh, I've never
yeah.
heard of that term. So it's called
Blackfishing, where
We learned about it in that season. I never heard of it.
Tried to where people who are not black basically are appropriating black hairstyles,
Like Rachel
to the point-
Adi, what's her name?
Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Divide, yeah.
Dolezal, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rachel. Okay, so it's not Get Out. It's Rachel Dolezal.
Yes, it is
Okay, got
looking to appear that you are black to get some type of cultural cachet from it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she like the complete facial tone. If you look at earlier pictures, she's just a Serbian girl, and they would say they're like Serbians can be dark skinned. Look at her younger pictures.
Look at her
y'all.
younger picture.
Yeah.
And she was, she got a good edit on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on social media, she was reprehensible. She was really
she was
horrible and
awful.
a troll.
Yeah.
And we
Good.
found out later that their quote wedding, they'd actually already been married for a year, and that was literally just their Instagram picture wedding that we saw on 90 Day Fiance.
It was
Wow.
Like
that
just a
fake.
complete. It was the most fraud we've ever had, and we originally started 90 Day when we started it years ago. That's why we don't do Housewives, and because Ronnie and Ben, we're really good friends with. I know Ronnie from
And watch
Improv
what
years ago,
happens. Yeah.
so we're good friends with him as well. And we're like, they already do it, and so we don't want to touch that.
And the market is pretty saturated too.
And
so.
but we picked
Sure.
90 Day Fiance because at the time it was one of the most quote realistic reality shows out there, and you feel that with these new seasons with new people. Like what is happening now is like
this is Toe. This season of Toe.
This woman who is like wears onesies in Alabama and is traveling to South America, and she has narcolepsy and just falls asleep. Like it's just you can't make this shit up.
Narcolepsy is a very inconvenient disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely inconvenient. Are you guys familiar with Umami Burger?
Yes, of course.
This is what's happening with 90 Day Fiance. They're starting to pop up these umami burgers all over the place.
They're scaling.
Before you know, you've
Saturated
scaled too
market.
big, and you can't make you can't make the aioli the same way that you used to.
The Parmesan crisp is not the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I've watched just the first 2 episodes of the newest version of 90 Day. What do you got? What's the
other way?
Okay. I love the cast.
It's
fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Good.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite because they put Americans into these weird, and we're the biggest pussies in the world when it comes to going other places.
Yeah.
Where's the woman who shows up to like a Muslim country and she's pissed when she finally gets there that she doesn't want to wear like the hijab?
That was Brittany, I think, right?
Oh,
Well,
that was
there's a
Brittany
new
in a previous season, but this is Nicole, who we said is the first AI 90 Day Fiance.
Yes. Very robot.
They're infiltrating reality television too. Just the
she seems she's almost indecipherable from a real person.
Well, apparently we just saw a trailer, a thing on their 90 Day Instagram. Apparently she's actually already converted to Muslim.
Oh, really?
To Islam. You just pulled a cam.
I did. I try not. We made fun of her, and now I do it.
Forgive me, Dylan. I have to talk to the experts here just because I don't know all the names. Dylan hasn't followed 90 Day as much as me. Speaking of Nicole, the blonde-haired girl from Florida in which she was in love with Azan, is that the name?
Nicole. Yes.
Oh.
Nickel.
They did 3 seasons in which her family was bankrolling his quote-unquote jewelry business.
Beauty shop.
Make
Beauty shop / health store.
Nicole's. It's like it's
Nicole's
as
makeup store.
I know Pink Shade for a while on their Patreon had a tier. Their $2 tier was called Nicole's Makeup Store, and they said basically you give us $2 and you get nothing.
Because that's what the makeup store had in it. It wasn't a real place.
Isn't it fascinating? All these people that were on a series for 3 years and then they just disappear.
Nicole is still around, but she rarely posts anymore. We were practically begging her to be on The Single Life because she is utterly fascinating because there is no personality there, but she's also quite arrogant.
Yeah, it's great.
And physically abusive. Remember she was beating him?
We always say she uses her size against him, and she would always go, "I'm going to beat you up if you don't kiss me and be my boyfriend."
Basically.
It's like your girl elementary school bully.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, she's a classic.
On this season 2, they have Danielle and Johan who are on. Again, y'all don't have time, but one of the spinoffs, probably one of my favorite, is Love in Paradise. It was on Discovery Plus and then TLC, but she was originally on season 2 of that, and that's a great season because we have
people going on bang trips in the Caribbean
and Americans.
Like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, like there was one storyline of a gay man from New York going down to.
He was from LA, by the way. You say he was from New York.
He lived in New York though at the time. He's from LA, but he was living in New York City.
I don't know about that.
Okay. And because he was like, it was weird because I think he's back in LA now. Anyway, doesn't matter. He's an American.
I think he was from New York and living in LA. I think it's the other way around.
But so he comes down to.
How long have you been married?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So no one cares. So, but he goes down. Is he go to? Are they in Colombia? Right.
Colombia.
Yes, and the whole plot line of these two men's storyline is that they're both tops, and literally the episode's called "The Trouble with Two Tops," and they're
who's gonna bottom?
And there's this lengthy explanation.
Do you just play odds and evens? Like, how does that work?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. I think what happened was what Valentine wanted to do. Yes, that was his name. Valentine wanted to open up the relationship pretty early.
Like the first day.
Yeah. And Carlos was not okay with this because I guess one just assumed the other would turn over one day and say, let's do it.
Can't you just plead stomach flu and then it's off the table?
No, not for some guys. There's some nasty ass people out there, Pat.
Yeah, some will just go there.
Yeah,
but I think that was pretty much done through kind of Instagram thirst as well, that relationship. Yeah. But Danielle and Johan are something because this is a woman who basically doesn't want to live in the U.S. anymore because her rent's too high in New York City.
And we found out, this is breaking, but we found out news that she actually has a bankruptcy in 2022. So she just wants to get out of the country so she doesn't have to pay her shit.
And this is on the new season of Toe, correct?
Yeah,
this is on Toe.
Okay. I saw that.
She is reviled pretty much.
The way she framed it, as you were saying, she's sick in New York City. So she's like, I have a love-hate with New York City. It's kind of gross, but this is where all my favorite coffee shops are. But
and my skincare places.
No,
she's disgusting.
She's fucking broke, and she needs to get out of the U.S.
And Johan just joined the kind of an OnlyFans copy where he's showing his humongous dong.
How big is it?
He said 9 inches. It was
a big
soft,
9-inch
so
dong.
I can't be. Of course, Maddie went and bought the.
Well, I put it on the business card. It's a tax write-off.
Exactly.
That's smart business, but 9 inches is just.
I mean, you can kind of see.
Oh my God!
We won't show this because it's his work.
Yeah, pull it back. I can't see.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
Yeah,
it looks like Godzilla's dick.
Yeah, it's like a goddamn.
It's a big dong.
It's a big. That's soft. We won't show this on the video because you know that sex work is work, and we're gonna let them have that.
And we're gonna let him have his money.
Get his money because
it's there. There's a lot of cuckoo. There's Jen and Rishi, the woman who's in Texas, Oklahoma, who's with the Indian man.
Right.
And she spends 2 hours washing his hair,
and his family doesn't really know anything about her. She's just a friend.
friend.
Who is the girl who she's been married twice, has a couple kids, and now she's a lesbian and she lives at her mother's house.
That is Jamie that is Chris and
Chris.
Jamie.
Chris is the one who has
narcoleptic.
narcoleptic, who is. And then it's the first time, which these are kind of so far the fan favorites are Gabe and what's
Isabel, who's a trans
Gabe
man.
Is the first trans man we've ever had on 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I saw that.
This is a really good season. I would say if anybody's not, if you ducked out after because you were tired of Happily Ever After, come back to the fold because Happily Ever After is riveting, in a good way.
I totally agree.
There's also a woman who we're going to see the week after the Super Bowl who's like in her 70s and she falls off a donkey. So yeah,
the falls get more cataclysmic for the elderly the older you get.
It looks dangerous. It happened, and it was one of the things where you're not sure if it hurt.
It is.
Anyway.
Okay, we're gonna wrap a minute, and thank y'all again for being on. But before we don't cover Rock of Love, you do. What are we missing by not watching Rock of Love?
You're not missing anything. I mean, 90 Day Fiance is sad enough. Love After Lockup is sad enough. But if you want to unearth a time chamber or
from 2007,
time capsule of 2007, wherein this guy that looks like a lizard is just subjecting women to the horrors of his libido, and he has a guy named Big John there who is aiding him in that.
Wow. So Rock of Love is a VH1 series from 2007. They actually did 4 seasons of it where a bunch of rock thirsty girls show up to live at Bret Michaels, the lead singer of Poison.
You say rock thirsty girls, but they're too young to really know who he is.
That's
true. So it's just,
but their moms liked him. That's probably it.
100%. Their moms liked him.
He's fine with.
So we want to talk about the heyday of reality TV. That's why I love 90 Day or the versions that we've talked about it. It's like they recapture that magic of what was happening in the early 2000s when everything was on the table as far as reality TV. I mean, we had a show called The Swan in which
that was the crazy. That was like Joe nuts. Millionaire, like The Swan. The Swan was the biggest, was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was around when we had the gay version of, you probably don't remember this show, but if you ever want to see something, I feel like Dylan would be completely horrified, but also love it. Did you ever watch the show? It was on Logo called Boy Meets Boy.
I think I look, that's from, oh wow, we're talking about old shows.
It's from 2002, 2003.
I remember the billboard for it on Sunset Boulevard.
A gay guy trying to find love with his best queer dear. But with the catch was there were some gay guys and some straight guys, and if he picked the straight guy, they would get money.
Really?
It's literally just straight guys gay baiting. Just this guy and acting gay, and the moment when she finds out that some of the guys are straight, his best friend, it literally is like
she loses her fucking mind.
What? It is one of the best moments of reality TV. She completely makes it all about her, even though he's the one that's been fucking flirting with straight guys. It's so good.
Do you guys remember the real L Word? Like how crazy was
that? That was kind of hard to watch. Because that was just lesbians getting drunk and fighting, which is every night really for parts of West Hollywood.
That sounds really, really fun. But it's not too dissimilar to Rock of Love, because Rock of Love has this thing where like you realize how valuable having no security on set is to a television show. So they'll just let them fucking fight. You know,
it's awesome.
And like also, Bad Girls Club used to be.
Yes.
Like Bad Girls Club used
to
be.
On the Oxygen Network.
This was a little bit, I think it was a precursor to Bad Girls Club.
I'm telling you, if you want to see cringe, you really should dig into MILF Manor. Jake can't watch it, but it really does have that vibe of like the Swan. It's so gross. And I've heard that apparently there are casting because it's gotten so much buzz. They're now apparently creating a DILF Manor.
Look, I'm happy. I thought they'd never touch that because I always say if the roles were reversed, people would be.
No, I think they're touching it.
Don't.
Here's my issue. That show could have been amazing. All the women are beautiful. Of course, their sons are handsome too. Why not introduce their sons? That's kind of a fun little angle. And then have 35-year-old guys come on the show and just live at the MILF Manor with them so we can really see it. That would be much more fun. I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm like, all right, I don't think anybody's going to fuck anybody. I'm out of here. But I could be wrong.
Well, I don't know. I will let you know. Because I'm invested, and now we do a MILF Manor Minute during Extreme Sisters. Because why not?
I don't allow that filth on the regular podcast.
Well, what's going on with the Bachelor, Maddie? Are you absolutely out? You're not.
No, we just got. I'm gonna jump in and catch in because I actually have to talk about it next week on another podcast. But it's just we got inundated with like Darcy and Stacey, Bam Bam Bam, all these shows. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to try to get caught up before this week.
Do you have a speed player on Chrome so you can watch it at 2 times speed?
I do. I can watch it on 2 times
just
speed.
Speed up Zach every time he talks.
I wanted it to be Avon. I don't know. I don't like this guy. I loved Avon.
No, he's a shortbread cookie that has anthropomorphized and is now like kind of being kind of a piece of shit. Yeah, actually,
is there?
It's pretty cool.
Are there any notable women to refer to?
One of the Mandrell daughters.
Yeah, there's a.
Shut up.
Okay, well, he's a big fan of Barbara Mandrell.
Ooh, I was country when country was it. Which Barbara Mandrell? Louise? Is it Louise, Barbara, or the sister everybody forgets? What's her name?
I think it's Barbara. I think it's Barbara Mandrell. And
shut up.
Oh no. Here we go.
I might be wrong. And Maddie, I might be wrong. And sorry if I'm letting you down, but let me tell you something.
Is it Erlene's? It's Barbara. Okay.
Take a breath.
What a little monster she's made.
Oh, yes. No, yes. It's got to be Barbara's daughter then, because Louise and Erlene, I think, they were less famous. But I know Barbara Mandrell is part of a monster. But I used to walk around in my cousin's Barbara Mandrell boots when I was a kid.
You gotta check it out because the sister insists on having her Chiron say Christina Mandrell. It's the surname is in there every single time. She has a child, and when she tells the Bachelor she has a child, he says, "Yuck."
Yeah. And he dumped her on the next show.
And there's also lots of women who come to him. We call them love bluffs. They're trying to come to him for admiration. I'm thinking of leaving. I'm thinking of leaving. I need help.
Oh, yeah. They've always done that. It's so awful.
Get out of here, because I'm not wrapping my arm around you. I've got plenty. I've been making out with everybody. We haven't made out at all. So please leave the show.
Oh my God. It's Erlene. She's Erlene's daughter. Erlene was the least famous. This is shocking to me.
We're going to have to leave this here.
Why did you just? Oh God.
Hopefully, I'm going to wish everyone healing, like Sean Robinson says.
We're
not going to resolve this today.
You just made me so excited for the rest of my weekend because I'm binging.
I'm going to say this now. We have to record a show after this. I'm not looking forward to him talking about Barbara Mandrell. But thank you both. Thank you.
Where can people find y'all? Where can they find you?
Yeah.
Check out Bad TV. That's the new show. All the Below Decks are there. The Rock of Love is there. The Love After Lockup is there. So go to Bad TV, a reality television recap podcast program, I think is the full title. And then if you want to, join us on Patreon as well.
Another
podcast network.com.
Yep.
This was great.
This has been so much fun.
We're going to do this again live.
We're going to do this again.
Together. Yeah. We'll have to let you know when one of us.
I want to play your video games behind you.
Yeah.
And maybe one of you can come up behind me and hold me.
I knew you just.
It'll be like Ghost, but we'll be playing like a Sega Genesis game or something.
That's even hotter. Even hotter.
I'm kind of into that.
All right. So next time we do this, all 4 of us are going to be together in studio. And we'll do it live.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we'll be drinking, and your inhibitions will be lower. All right.
Hey, Pat gets really drunk, so I think it can happen. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, my back is really smooth.
Okay, we've got to go. Thank you, Dylan and Patrick. Y'all go check them out.
Bye.
Bye.